everybody! I got something very important to talk to you about, and you need to understand this. Whether you're a beginner guitar player, an intermediate, whether you're Joe Satriani, I don't care. You need to understand this important concept. We're going to talk about the Nashville number system. What is the Nashville number system? How come great and good musicians use it? And what is so hard about it? Or is it even hard? Maybe it's just hard to say and it's not hard to play. And because it's hard to say, you don't play. Well, you need to understand the stuff. Whether you're a worship guy leading worship at your church, where you're playing cover songs in clubs and venues and bars, or you're a songwriter, or you want to learn to play by ear, all of those things are going to require a universal system. And that system we call the Nashville number system. So let's get started. So music is made up in keys. So you may like to play a lot of songs in the key of G. If you like to play a lot of songs in the key of G, you might be playing some songs that sound like this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that E minor sounds so good, makes me all emotional. Yeah, yeah. Or maybe you like to play, I don't know, maybe you like to play E stuff, like some John Mayer, Jason Mraz. Like that. Key of E. Or maybe you like to play bar chords. Maybe you like ska. Maybe you don't know what ska is because you're 15 years old, but just figure it out. But ska sounds kind of like this. So maybe you like to play bar chords like. By the way, those are bar chords in the key of B. And if you need help with bar chords, click on this link over here somewhere and we'll talk about it. I don't know, there's a million things. You do be doing power chords. But what are we doing here? What do all these different genres of music, jazz included, country, everything, they have something in common. That they're all playing chords that fit in a certain key. So let's go back to something simple. Key of G. In the key of G, as there is 12 possible keys. You can play G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, and G. 12 possible keys in Western music. If you don't have that chromatic scale memorized, stop the video and hold your breath until you memorize it, and I'll wait. Okay, alright. So key of G has 7 notes. 7 notes, 7 basic chords. So the very first chord in the key of G is very right. Yeah, you're right, you're right. It's a G. So if I'm in a key of G and I play a G, we're not going to call that G anymore. Now we're going to call it 1. Okay? So here's my 1 chord. Now, I'm not going to show you the 2, the 3. I'm going to show you the 4 chord. Why the 4 chord? Because the second most common chord in any key, the key of G, the key of E, the key of B flat, C sharp is my 2 chord. And in the key of G, I like to play a C. To make it a little spicier, I'm going to play a C add 9. And that looks just like a G. My pinky on my 1st string, 3rd fret, my ring finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, my index over here on the 4th string, 2nd fret, my middle on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and I'm kind of muting the E string with my middle. That's a C add 9. So if I'm in the key of G, G's my 1, 4. Most common keys. Then the 3rd most common chord is a D. So in the key of G, I have a 1 is my G, 4, and my D is my 5 chord. 1, 4, and 5. So 1, 4, and 5, I can play country, I can play blues, I can play rock, I can play a lot of different styles. So we may be in the key of G and I may say, hey, we're going to play a song in the key of G and we need to play just a 1, 4, 5 chord progression. Well, that's easy. 1, 4, 5. Back to 4. 1, 4, 5 to the 4. Now, maybe you're singing it and it's too low. Maybe you sing like my friend Matt, like a girl, and you have to sing it high. Well, this is where we run into problems with a lot of people. Because they're like, oh, I gotta sing it higher like a girl. So I'm gonna put my capo here up on the 4th fret and I'm gonna play G. Now, is this a G? No. That's not a G. That's a B. Is that a C add 9? No, that is not a C add 9. Stop calling it a C add 9 because it's an E add 9. Is that a D? No, that's an F sharp. But you're telling everybody you're playing a C add 9. And then you have this modifier that really screws everything up with the capo on the 4th fret. And everybody's like, your bass player's like, I don't know what the flip that means for me. And your keyboard player is like, capo on the 4th fret. Keyboards and pianos don't normally have capos. I mean, there was one piano made with a capo on it, but that was a special keyboard. So what should you do? Well, my recommendation is not say, okay, that's a B. And now you're going to re-memorize the key of G in every chord into every key and where you put the capo on. Just call it a 1. 1. And if you tell the bass player that you're in the key of B, the bass player is going to be like, oh, a B. And he's going to know. He's not going to say, oh, a G. Your bass player's not going to put a capo on it. By the way, if you have bass players that play with capos on them, punch them in the face. Don't ever put a capo on a bass. Anyways, G, being my 1 chord, is actually a B. If I go to an E add 9, stop laughing. This is serious. That's my 4 chord. If I go to this F sharp, which I'm not ever going to call it F sharp, my piano player will know it's an F sharp because you're going to tell him the 5 chord in the key of B. And then you may want to get real sappy. Play 6 chord. You don't need to learn anything else. Just 1, 5, 4, and 6. When you play your 6 chord, are you going to tell him that's an E minor? No. Because I recommend anybody punching you in the face now, because you're telling them that this is not an E minor, okay? I just want you to understand that. That's a G sharp minor. But if you want to make this easier on yourself, I give you permission to call it the 6 chord. That's the 6 chord. And everybody knows when you play the 6 chord, something really powerful is about to happen. Because I played the 1 chord, and then I played the 4 chord, and I'm building up, and I'm playing the 5 chord, and when I hit that 6 chord, it's like... Just to review, and we're going to talk about other keys and the numbers and other keys. So I'm going to give you some suggestions here in the next few videos. But for the key of G, when you play your capo on whatever fret, whether it be the 2nd fret or the 4th fret, when you play the G, stop calling it G. Because guess what? You're lying. And if you're a worship leader, you're not supposed to lie. If you play country, you should know by now that lying is just going to get you in trouble, okay? So, when you play the G, stop calling it a G, call it a 1 chord. When you play your C add 9 or your cowboy C or a C bar chord, don't call that a C. If your capo's on the 2nd fret, don't call it a D. What do we call it? Call it a 4. When you go to play the D, please don't call it a D. Don't call it a, what are we in? Okay, that's an E. We don't need to know that. If you call it the 5 chord, we're in the key of A, by the way. 2nd fret. Capo on the 2nd fret. Key of G. We're really in the key of A. When we call that the 5 chord, people who know the system will know that that's an E. And if they're playing on a capo, they'll know that's a D. You know, it's just going to make it easy for them. And if you play 6 chord, don't call that an F sharp minor, don't call it an E minor. Just say 6 chord in the key of A. Your piano player, your bass player will know that that's an F sharp. If somebody's playing with a capo, they're going to think E minor. You can think E minor. Just don't say it. Don't, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. So work on using that system. We're going to talk about the key of C, key of A, key of E, key of D. We're going to talk about power chords, bar chords, and then hopefully in the next few weeks we'll get some jazz chords and take you through that. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the box below. Don't forget to join our email list. We send a lot of tips out. We have other great teachers here at Lessons with Austin, vocals, keyboard, a little basic to bass. We may even start doing some ukulele. So leave us a comment. Tell us what you're struggling with. What are you having a hard time? And I will respond to your comments if you comment below. Don't forget, www.lessonswithaustin.com. Join the email list. Get free stuff. We send emails out like at least once a year or 2. We're not like those people that send emails out every day asking you to buy stuff. Okay? So we don't do that. Anyways, have a great time. See you next time. Punch them in the face. Don't ever put a capo on a bass.